Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday morning to you. Good to see you all. Or at least good to see some of you that are here now. And piling in. Wow, the chat is already busy. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. Who else? And as usual, my friends, drink it if you got it. My favorite part of the morning. Although I have to confess, I've had a couple already, but I still love that first sip on the morning live stream. Wow. Okay. How is everybody this morning? My phone just went off. Don't think it's anything important. Well, maybe I better look. Sorry. Hold on, folks. Good news. Good news. Rumble has just notified me that I should watch yesterday's Morning Coffee with Mitch. Oh, no. And it's playing on my cell phone right now. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. How do I stop it? Okay. A little cell phone adventure here. How's everybody? Well, that wastes a little time while people start to pile in. And don't miss any of the really important stuff that goes on here in the morning. All right, let me first get rid of that banner. I have it running there so I won't forget. And let me look at the comments here, and then we'll start talking. But we'll start to do this as the people get here. Saw Kilts was on this morning. I watched some of it, not very much. It was very busy, as usual. First in last night was Mary M. How you doing, Mary? At 8:14 p.m. After that, we had Nikki W. and Books and Beef. Loretta, how you doing this morning? And Aunt B was here, and Furl Grandma Wendy was here, and Peter was here last night at 11:30. Peter was back. I always feel like I'm calling a horse race. Smoothie, John, Smoothie 420, and Jem, hiya. Jem, I don't know if you're here yet, but I guess. Mitch, loved your video, your journey to recovery from the stroke. Can't wait for part two. Part two is in the can, uploaded, and ready to be made public at 2:47 this afternoon. Don't ask me why I picked that oddball time, but I have a reason for it. So 2:47 p.m., bang, it should show up. And it's a fun one, so I hope you'll enjoy it. Carnivore police here very early in the morning, 1:25 a.m. Mandy Beddoes at 4:30 this morning. That's what time I get up, Mandy. 4:30. I was wide awake, mind going a mile a minute, and I said, "Oh, I got so much to do. Let me just get up and get to it." And I did. I've been going like half a day's work already, and here it is, 8:30 in the morning. Tuka, good morning, Tuka. How are you? And Rick is here. Good to see you, Rick. And Mike Seeley. Mike Seeley Sr. here in Melbourne. He's here. Maine Runner says, I'm in a chat. Good morning, Mitch and everyone. Bad air quality, smoke from Canada. No run. Oh, sorry to hear that. Boo, boo, Canada. Keep your smoke. Well, that's all right. We get dust from the Sahara. It blows over the ocean to us. Kind of keeps the hurricanes down, though. So, in that respect, I like it. Mike Shilley's here. Hello, Mike. How are you? From Tampa, Florida. Good to see you, United Carnivore. And how we doing? 8 o'clock. Mike Pregler. Hi, Michael. How are you? And Sandy Blythe checked in. And Amy Rockin, Keto Amy. Good morning to you, Amy. How are you this morning? And you're already hard into it. Chat. Who else haven't I said hi to? Larry Ryan, good morning to you. And Steve Rogers, Captain America, superhero in the house. Hi, Steve. Good to see you this morning. We're down at 8:24. Still chatting away. Wow. Brian Dish chimed in. Hiya, Brian. 8:26. Tina's here. Tina Schreigereth, good morning to you. I get through the chat. Lori's here. Lori Whitesell. Good morning, Lori. How are you doing? And Juan Miguel from Chile. Hiya, Juan. Good to see you this morning. How you been? Good to see you. 8:29. Michael Pregler, Papa Carnivore. Brian Dish, Robbie Autry. Good morning, Robbie. And Mark C. is our winner this morning. Congratulations, Mark. And wait. Mea culpa. We'll make it a tie this morning. Robbie Autry was in here at 8:30 as well. So here's a congratulations to you too. I jumped the gun. To both of you guys for being so close to each other. And Marla Kelly chimed in. How you doing, Marla? Who else chimed in here? Carnivore Dens. Julie, how you doing? Good to see you, Juliet. Good to see you. Welcome. And Lizzie is here. Sharon McCabe is here. Charles Faircloth joined us. Mama Bear, good morning to you. And Tanya here this morning. Hiya, Tanya. How you doing, Max D? VJS. This one I don't know. Super Tune. Good morning from Clearwater, Florida. Well, good morning to you, Super Tune. Welcome. See, Michael Pregler may have said something sad because Tina says, so sorry, hugs. So let me go back and actually, I'm trying to race you to chat here, but I want to see. Oh, no. Sorry, Mike. Sorry to hear that. Glad you are here today. I'm looking back. I'm sorry I glossed over all that. I was just looking at names. That's a tragedy. I know that it wasn't unexpected, but a tragedy nonetheless. You have my deepest sympathy. I can't even imagine. Well, how do I become cheerful after that? It's hard. It gets every one of us who have kids thinking, what would it be like? Some of us know. I don't. Thank God for that. Well, That'll settle in. I get back. I get to the chat. I don't have a lot to talk about today. Super Tune. Evidently is doing it right. I'm making coffee with curry gold and tallow works tallow and fat works tallow and a splash of heavy cream. Vanilla yellow first. Wow, you are making some bulletproof coffee there, my friend. All you left out was the MCT oil, but I don't know if I really subscribe too much to that. Peter's with us. How you doing, Peter? Son and his wife are buying a house in San Antonio. Yes, 270K. Wow, I didn't think you could buy a house for that little these days. That would buy you a phone booth in South Florida. It's true. Wow. Maybe we all ought to go live in Texas. Maybe it's cheaper. Terry Sue chimed in and said, good morning. Good morning. And CB is here. Hi, CB. Good to see you this morning. Glad you're with us. Chris Swain from Australia. Good morning to you. And who is this? Silent Samurai Ken. Yes, I know. First time joining live. Welcome, Ken. Silent Samurai. Wow. That's quite a name. It's like one big long word. You have to figure out where to put the spaces. I'm glad you made it. That's not one I'm likely to not recognize when I see it again. So welcome. Ebony Talks is here. Hi, Ebony and Barry. Simon, my friend. How are you, Barry? Good to see you as usual. We're talking about real estate. Okay. I just want to pick out the new people that got here within the first, say, 10 minutes. And Tuka, I did get your emails yesterday. I haven't had time to really analyze this stuff or take a deep dive, but I have them in my inbox, and I'm going to try to get to them today. So don't think I'm ignoring you. I just am swamped. I know it's hard to feel that a retired guy, basically, with nothing to do. But I do have two jobs, YouTube and my other job. And I have all of this stuff in my house to maintain, update, software, cameras, batteries to charge. I mean, it's a full-time job in itself. Here's another name I don't recognize. I give up. Mundusvelt Decipi. What am I missing? Well, good morning to you anyway, sir or madam. And Alexandra here at 2:36 p.m. Alexandra, wow, that is absolutely somewhere not in America. Although we've got Alexandrias here. Welcome. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for coming in. And we have from all over. It's Moritz Unterberger. Wow, good morning to you. Said howdy. It's a very German-sounding name. I would expect maybe guten Tag, but howdy, Moritz. Good to see you. Wow, Aaron is here. Hi, Aaron. How you doing? How are the kids? How are the chickens? Good to see you all. Claudia Burkick chimed in and put QQQs in the chat if you got something you want to ask me. If you got a topic that you think would be nice to bring me into the conversation, that gets my attention, and we'll try to get through it. Again, I'm going to try to keep these live streams to what I said yesterday. Try to keep them around an hour, maybe 5-10 minutes over if I have to, but I can't be doing these 2-hour things every morning and getting anything done. I need to get right to work. I'm probably the hardest working retired guy you ever met. Carnivore Ron's here. Hiya, Carnivore Ron. Hi, Mitch. You look like you're doing real great after your stroke. Just stopped by to see how you're doing. You know me from my other channel, Mark. Oh, music about, yes, yes. How you doing? How you doing? Thanks for checking in. Very good. I only have one channel. I don't think I want to have to manage two. AP is here. Question. Hey, Mitch, what is your opinion on eating pork steak most of the time, most affordable here in Canada? I don't think it's nearly as nutritious as beef. I think that seems to be the general consensus. They kind of lump pork in with chicken as being, not a lot of fat. Although pork does have a lot of fat, it's a different fat, but it's still good for you. The consensus among all the quote experts is that beef is the best, and I know it's getting harder and harder. I eat more hamburger, less ribeyes, but I still try to eat a lot of beef. Eating all pork, you certainly live on it, probably do well, but I think you do better on beef. My opinion. That's all I can give you is my opinion based on what I've heard and discovered. I know that I started my intermittent lion diet. Remember that a couple of weeks ago. I've been doing it. And the results, it's hard to say what caused it, but watch the video this afternoon about my recovery and watch it to the end. And something is happening to me with the acceleration of that recovery. It's extremely noticeable. You'll see it. I would like to say that the intermittent lion diet is miracle. I don't know what it just might be the normal progression of my recovery, or maybe loading up on more beef and less chicken and pork really did some good. Don't know. I don't believe 2 weeks is enough time to say anything definitively. But I'm sure it didn't hurt. I'm sure it didn't hurt. So that's what I think about that, about the pork. But like Ken Berry says, and I think he's absolutely right, eat the best you can afford. And if that's all you can afford, you're 1,000 times better off still doing that than eating a standard diet with all the sugar, seed oils, and grains. Eat Spam and hot dogs, he says, if you have to, instead of all the junk food. Barbara S. is here. Hiya, Barbara. Good morning, Mitch and friends. It is Monday. Yes. Thank you for the good wishes. We have Sandy's Carnivore and Crochet here. Good morning to you. Okay, I've made it through the first 10 minutes of the chat, and I'm only 20 minutes behind right now, 18 minutes behind. I'm trying. Here's a question from Peter. I watched the Dave Mack interview yesterday with a couple. The wife had a stroke 14 years ago and recently started carnivore and started healing again with nothing else when nothing else was working before that. Yes, I can believe that, Peter. I can believe that. And I almost don't believe, I think it might be wives' tales, but I think the body can heal old problems, as evidenced by people going carnivore and cure something or get it in remission that has plagued them their entire life, especially some of these autoimmune diseases. But the prevailing wisdom or propaganda when it comes to stroke recovery, you hear them say, if it doesn't recover within 6 months, it never will. Or You better do work real hard during the first year, because after that, it'll never recover. And here come people who've had a stroke like this one 14 years ago, and now they're starting to recover. So, again, don't believe your lying eyes. Believe the propaganda. I agree. Thanks for bringing that up, Peter. What are you talking about? Okay, you're all busy off on your own here. I'll just keep saying hello. Miss Laugh a Lot, good morning, good morning. I like that name. Very cheery name. Laugh a Lot. Okay, you guys all talking about phone booths now, prices of houses, everything but carnivore. Y'all spend too much time together. Carnivore Whispers here. How you doing? And Germany. Yeah, it sounded like a German name. I won't even try to pronounce it, but Guten Tag. I was right. Yeah, I got it right. I didn't know German said howdy. I didn't realize that. That's cool. Are you a German or an American living in Germany? I spent almost a couple of years in Germany way back in the late 60s when I was in the Army. A gorgeous country. And then I went back there with my wife a number of years ago. Must have been 30 plus years, or 20 or 30 years ago. We did a vacation, rented a BMW, drove all over Europe, stayed, and it's just a great country. I really liked it. Valerie Thompson, good morning to you, Valerie. How you doing? I'm looking for a topic to go off on. Well, let me just mention, as I usually do, I always have my Buy Me a Coffee and my Amazon links to help support the channel. I don't want to go into all that again, but I would appreciate if any of you want to appreciate what I do. Amazon, I think, is the best way to do it because it doesn't cost a cent. And I would appreciate it if before the end of this month, if you got anything to buy from Amazon, use my links, because I actually might get a little bonus if I hit a certain level. I'm almost there, but unless I get a little extra push, it won't happen. So that won't cost anybody anything. I hate to ask for money. I went into all that yesterday. I don't, honest to God, I'm not, I can do without all this. Like that National Sarcastic Society t-shirt that I have says, like, we need your support. Well, I do need support. But not in any huge amount. You're not likely to see me put up a GoFundMe page. That'll never happen. But I'm not adverse to people saying thank you. And if you can't afford it and you do it, if I had a way, I'd give it back to you. I don't want anything from people who are struggling. I only want to help. I would probably send it to you if I had enough left that I didn't need. Okay, my God, look at this conversation. Let me tell you guys, my last two live streams that I had, YouTube deemed them not suitable for advertising. I myself did not say one bad word or anything. I don't know if YouTube, if their algorithm checks the chat and looks for obscenities or other absurdities, but for some reason, the few dollars that I might have made on Sunday and Thursday of last week were taken away from me. And it says this video is not suitable for advertising. That's happened before, but not 2 days in a row. So we'll see what happens today. And if I get it again today, I'm going to have to turn off the chat, because Doing this is bad enough, but doing it for the few bucks I get and then having Google tell me they're not going to give it to me for some reason, which they won't tell me and you can't find out, that would be the height of absurdity. So behave yourself in the chat, please. Kids, try to keep everything on topic. I don't know what to say. I'm sitting here reading all this stuff. There's nothing what to do, not whatsoever to do. I like it that this is a meeting place, but we're here to talk about health and carnivore. And something even somewhat related to that. I know you want to chat. You guys chat all day everywhere I go. You're all there. So please do me a favor. Help me make this about carnivore and help me help you rather than have to sit here and read every comment. Here's one that actually applies. Mike Pregler said, when it comes to his health, he gets the best he can afford. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to start talking about the controversy of eating meat raw versus cooked. I touched on that yesterday. But that's a subject that needs a lot of exploration, because if Kiltz is right, and if Schwartz, what was the kid's first name? What was his name? Schwartz. Carnivore camaraderie. He was that 18-year-old kid that pissed off everybody because he was harping on, if you don't eat it raw, you're wasting your time. If you don't eat it raw, and now Kiltz started doing it, and they may be right. But if they're right, then that means none of us are doing carnivore to do us any good. Where the hell is all this good that's happening to us coming from, number one? Or number two, just how good does it have to be if you have to gag on what you eat and don't like it? Nobody's going to stick to it that way. Where does the happy medium fall? Where's the midpoint? Joey Schwartz, there you go. Thank you, DS111. Joey Schwartz, kid was obnoxious. Obnoxious. Know-it-all. 18 years old. I gave him no credit. But Kiltz, I give a lot of credit. Kiltz is a brilliant guy. And I'm taking him seriously. And I'm trying to prepare my food, especially my meat, and cook it more on the rare side now. But raw? Huh. Thank you, Brian. Be mad. $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Question, Mitch. How about discussing heavy cream addiction? I see a lot of carnivores who can't lose weight and they're drinking 5 coffees a day, half of which is heavy cream. Yes. Oh, wow. You know, how many false starts have I had trying to find some way? I don't drink anything in my coffee, but I got on that ice cream thing. That's all heavy cream. And in one thing of ice cream that you make, you will probably use the equivalent of 5 cups of coffee worth of cream. And evidently, even though it doesn't have sugar in it, there's something in it. It's probably the same thing that addicts us to high-fat cheeses. They call them casomorphines. The queso part indicates cheese, but it's still dairy. Honest to God, I can't stop. And the good news is, when I ate some, I got cravings for more, but I hadn't frozen it yet. So it's not like, you know, I was making about a gallon. I was making it a pint at a time. And a pint of heavy cream is a lot of friggin' fat. I thought it was a great way to add fat, but I'm addicted as hell to it. And that's true. I think for some of us, it's very, very addictive. I know I seem to get drawn in, and I'm a terrible sugar addict. But I don't get addicted to everything. I'm not addicted to alcohol. If anything, it's the opposite. So yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for bringing that up. And that's where you have to analyze how you react to anything you eat. because we're all going to react somewhat differently, a little bit different. Some people, same thing with alcohol. Some people can drink a day, and it relaxes them, and in some respects, maybe it's good for them. Although it is alcohol and sugar, both of which aren't too good for your liver. But the body has ways to detoxify, and I know an awful lot of, or I've known an awful lot of very old people, my grandfather included, who used to have a highball or two, Canadian Club, every day, along with his evening cigar. 5 cigars a day, couple of drinks, 1 or 2. Wasn't addicted to any food that I could see, but then most people weren't back then. Ate Jewish guy, and my Jewish grandmother, his wife, knew how to cook all the good food, all the cheap cuts of meats, the briskets, and she baked, but when they baked, it was loaded with fat. Everything that they fried, like potato pancakes or knishes, were all fried in chicken fat, real fats, and they all lived to be ancient and didn't abuse anything and didn't even understand what the word moderation was or knew any of the rules we had today. They just did what they did, and which is pretty much what their parents did. And we've gone so far astray now, so far astray with the medical community and all the advice we get on both sides. I watch so many, or start watching so many videos from so many so-called influencers with the magic answer and the new discovery and everything. I get 2 minutes into them and I say, you're out of your mind, and turn them off, because there's too much. Nobody can be concerned about it. I keep fighting like hell to keep my life going in the opposite direction. What can I get rid of? What can I stop thinking about? What can I just let nature take its course? It's done so for millions and hundreds of millions of years. Why would today be any different? We're not any different. But that logic doesn't stop these guys, and they're brilliant guys, like Nick Norwitz, like all of these scientists that take everything to its nth degree of complication and try to make some practical advice. The problem with those things is, after all of that, at the end, I don't see a call to action. I don't see, this is what you, according to all this is what you need to do. Nobody gives that advice. It's just talking in curiosities, I think. In theories, hypotheses. Better to let your body do what has been tested over hundreds of millions of years, that has ensured your survival. This is my philosophy. Maybe I'll miss something. Maybe we aren't outsmarting ourselves in every direction. Maybe we do discover something, or at best discover something that is missing today that used to be there, because of what's happened to the world and what we've done to things in the last 100 or 200 years, or 10,000 years, or even 20,000 years. We haven't changed that much. But what we're trying to feed ourselves with doesn't even resemble food anymore. I think we're as close as you can get, honest to God. But in this society, being bombarded with so much information, so many YouTubers, so many live streams, me included, so much information, nobody can come up with a call to action for themselves based on this, and know with certainty that they're not doing more harm than good to themselves. And I know this because, God, do I get advice. I read those comments, everybody. And they mean well. And I'm sure they're convinced they're right. They wouldn't give me advice they knew would hurt me. Well, maybe some people would, but who needs them? Everybody has something that for some reason, they think is magic, and they want to spread the word and tell everybody, you need to take this, you need to buy that, you need that. Who can do that? And stick to it for any length of time long enough to have it actually prove out that it was correct. It's better, and I found out with doctors' advice, it's better to take none of their advice unless you're on a death's bed and they want to give you a shot of something that they know will kickstart your heart again. And if you got to that point, listen to them. I did when I had the stroke. But when they keep telling you how to live and what you need to do and how much you need to exercise and what foods you need to avoid, well, you just stick your fingers in your ears and go, la, 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 la. Don't listen to them. You don't have to be mean to them. Say, yeah, doc, that sounds great. Okay, and as you're walking out the door, you may mouth the word moron to yourself and maybe even hope he saw you say that. I don't have the patience for these people anymore. I think I'm better off when I don't follow any of their advice. As a carnivore, I can say that. And that's the qualifier. As a carnivore. As a carnivore. Because I think as a carnivore, what I'm doing far exceeds the benefits of any medication unless something in me is broken. And until you're diagnosed with something broken, like your A1C is 19.5, and if you don't take these insulin injections, you're going to die. That's true. That's true. Get on carnivore. In a year, maybe you won't be in that situation. But too many of us, including me, have done too much damage. I wish I had a dollar bill for every comment I got that says, your stroke was definitely caused by the vax. Everybody who took the vax is getting stroke. That's not true, but yeah, there might be. Could have been. Could have been. I think my stroke was caused by some complications of the surgery I had. That's the most likely, but I don't know that for sure. But God, I had neurologists and doctors and cardiologists. No, two of them could agree on anything. How can you take when people say, I want to get another medical opinion? Well, you can rest assured these days that other medical opinion is going to be totally opposite and backwards from the first medical opinion. And there you are. You're caught in the middle. What do? Go with this guy's drugs and surgery or that guy's drugs and surgery? Get a third opinion? Or what I would do is do none of it. Tell them both to go to hell. Maybe I say go to hell and YouTube doesn't like that. Thinks I'm being too harsh. Can't let advertisers on there. We'll see. That's the worst I'm going to say today. Michael Prager went to my doctor last week and said, everything great. And I take it we are leaving your LDL alone. It's true. That's true. Burl Graham said, my stroke was left over from multiple concussions and migraines for 55 years. You know, if you've never heard of Occam's razor, I know it's not something you shave with. It's a rule or a law. Evidently, in some language, razor means law. But Occam's razor says, the most obvious and simple answer to any problem is usually the correct one. And that rings true so often. And everybody else says, well, yeah, that may be true, but let's see if we can't find some totally unbelievable, wild solution out of left field and claim it's the best one and try to figure out how to monetize it. What do you think, guys? Okay, we're on board. The way the world works is crazy. Loretta says, love it when Mitch laughs. I try to laugh a lot. I like that handle. I laugh a lot. If I was a knight in England, I'd be Sir Laugh a lot. But somebody already did that. So there is something in some movie or TV sketch with Sir Laugh a lot. This is an interesting comment, and I may have missed some questions. Well, let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just really race. So here's a question. Peter says, Mitch, yes, as Dave Magvius, you mentioned a doctor. Okay, further comment on that one. Mitch is secretly a German spy, says Tuka. Okay, see, we're being silly. We're being silly. Makes it harder on me, but that's okay. I love you guys. I don't want to stop your fun. Yes, I said Joey Schwartz. And Tina says, question, I threw away the watermelon that was given me. Tina. Oh, man. What are we going to call those things? Achilles heels? We all have them. Tina can't avoid the watermelon. Poor Peter can't avoid the chocolate. You got me a box of Angus burgers. Good for you. Just make sure they don't have an ingredient list as long as your arm. Make sure they're not full of soy this or malto that and all that other shit. It should say beef and maybe beef and salt. That should be it. And then look at the label and see if make sure there are 0 carbs. Because the burger patties they tried to sell me or serve me when I was in rehab in a hospital, I figure I'm trying like hell to stay carnivore. And I'm trying to get bacon and egg. Well, the bacon was some kind of turkey bacon with enough sugar in it to satisfy anybody's sugar addiction. The eggs, God knows what they were made in, but it certainly wasn't butter. And the burger patties, which I ordered like 4 of them with nothing else, no side. They all thought I was crazy. Those things hardly tasted like burgers. They weren't impossible burgers, but they were a pretty good imitation of something that was not made of meat. And I became a sugar addict again in 18 days in that place. Crazy, crazy. So yes, Tina, abstinence for people like us is the only way. There's some great comments in here. AP, you find salt helps with everything. Use as much as you want. You're not going to use much more salt. That bullshit I said bullshit. That nonsense, maybe it was me who did it. That nonsense that about if you have high blood pressure or you're worried about your blood pressure, low sodium, that does more harm than good. Your body needs salt, has to have salt. Salt to taste. If it tastes good to you with more salt, that's what you should be listening to. Taste it first. If it tastes great without salt, you got enough salt. Salt is one of the sodium. It's one of the 3 electrolytes without which you will die. It's one of the electrolytes that is regulated to the tiniest little margin in the body because it's so important. You would have a hard time eating too much salt if you're otherwise not retaining fluids. Now, if you're somebody that's just way overweight and got edema all over the place, yeah, it'll help you retain some fluids, but don't fear the salt. Don't believe what any of this low sodium, low fat stuff. They throw it out there like it's actually been proven, and I don't think it has. I eat a ton of salt. My blood pressure is low. The salt wasn't what was making my blood pressure go up. It was the damage from all the seed oils and oxidative and sugar I was eating. Aaron says it's rare to lose monetization because of chat. Okay, never mind. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. It could be me. Maybe when it comes, the sponsors usually bid for shows. Maybe they don't think you guys are worth spending money on. I don't know. The funny thing is, when I do get ads, I used to see so many of these ads for crap that we are talking bad news. Maybe that's what happens. There's so few advertisers selling anything worthwhile that we might need. Maybe they don't even see anything here that they could sell to a group of misfits. That might be true too. All I know is it's so little money, I don't worry about it. But it is something. And when they even take that away, whoa, what an insult. Good news is at least my videos that do get some views and create some ad revenue, I've only had one of them in all this time actually demonetized. And it was basically, I think, a copyright strike or something like that. Oh, wow. Listen to this. Listen to this. Loretta, road trip this weekend, had a latte at Dunkin'. Red nutrition after. What a mistake. Too much sugar. Still paying the price. Yes, there is no real food out there being sold commercially because there's no market for real food. There's no market for it. There's only a market to the 99% of Americans that eat seed oils, sugar, and grains as their primary diet, low fat, and follow that advice to the letter, and work like crazy at the gym, killing themselves, trashing their metabolism, wondering why can't they keep the weight off? And they think we're crazy. With a number of fad nonsense diets that have come and gone in the past 10, 20, 30 years, maybe thousands of them, I can understand why people would be a little suspicious of something that sounds as like the grapefruit diet, the watermelon diet, the peanut butter diet, the sugar diet. There's no end to those things, and none of them work. So why is this carnivore any different, they say? Or keto, or paleo, or Mediterranean, or zone, or Atkins. But we've been building this reality since Atkins. Started with low carb. We finally learned, they may have always known, but it never got down to us, that plants are crammed full of defense chemicals and poisons. We got concerned about stuff, and about the only thing that it seems isn't harmful and people aren't allergic to and doesn't cause all these problems is meat, especially red meat. And we have enough anecdotal evidence now that this is not a fad diet, and we have enough archaeological, anthropological evidence to show that this has always been the human animals diet. And I refer to us as human animals because we are. We're human animals with a layer of consciousness on top. Call it what you want. We're building machines that will achieve the same thing very shortly. They will become conscious. Does that mean they have a soul? We built them. Maybe Kilster's right. We are God. God is in all of us. I won't go there. I won't go there. But the superstitions and the mysteries always fade out when reality is discovered. So we'll see. We'll see. Brian Dish, question Mitch. Do you think wild game is good for carnivore? Didn't our ancestors? Yes, wild game is great. It's great. The problem with most wild game, however, is very lean. Very lean. My son used to hunt wild hog, but you had to add fat to that. Used to make sausage out of most of it. You had to add a ton of fat. And fortunately, he was a friend of the butcher at Publix and would supply pounds and pounds and pounds of fat that they'd carved off because they needed to present lean meat to the public because that's what they wanted. They shied away from fat. That's why we can't find really fatty prime ribeyes anymore. Speaking of salt, I'm going to have a swig from my thermos jug, which I'm never far away from. of my electrolyte mix. This is the handiest thing with this little flip-top straw. You can find it on Amazon for about $20. Stainless steel thermos. Had it for 3 years now. It's one of the few products I bought. It's built so well, and $20. It's got all kinds of lids and attachments and carrying cases and straps. I still can't believe it. I'm surprised everybody doesn't have one of these. I'm never very far from it during the course of a day. Yeah, game is great, but that's not really what our ancestors ate. Our ancient ancestors ate mammoth, big fat animals, because they had plenty of land, pristine land to graze on. They were huge. Most of them were hunted to extinction, but that's what we developed. It was the fat, probably, that was the most important nutrient. Kills us onto something there. And they ate big fat animals. They didn't chase skinny animals. So yeah, but again, any meat, even the leanest, toughest, is still better for you than the crap that most, I said crap again, the crap that, if you demonetize me YouTube, I understand, it's my fault. Then this, of course, I'm going to say what's on my mind. I don't do that during videos, which may be why they don't get demonetized. Man, culpa, guys, I was blaming you. I'm sorry. Aaron, I think you're right. But no, go out and hunt for your food. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Find yourself a fat little rabbit, maybe. But most of the deer that you find are going to be very lean. The wild boar is going to be, you got to feed a pig garbage to fatten him up. Got to feed him grains and junk. He's not going to get fat in the wild. He gets muscular and mean. They scare the hell out of me, those wild boars. What am I? 20 minutes behind. Not as bad as I thought. Wow, we're really going through this today. Trying to keep up with you guys. Spiritual Nomad Brooks says, question, a cup of heavy cream has a cup of cream. Yeah, it's probably still got some lactose in there somewhere. That may be why it's so addictive. That may be, and you'll eat a cup of it or more, or 2 cups. If you make a pint has 2 cups, 16 ounces. That's 2 8-ounce cups. A lot of times, we use the term cup. Like, this is a 12-ounce cup. But it's not a cup. It's a cup and a half at 12 ounces. A cup, by definition, is 8 ounces. So when you come out with a big golf cup and say, I had 1 cup of coffee today, that's like eating from morning to night and claiming I only had 1 meal today. So, yes, my phone is beeping, and what do I got here? Francine Bourgeois bought me a coffee. Sorry, I can't Amazon in Canada. Oh, but that's all right. You really deserve this small token of my appreciation. Francine is so sweet. Francine is so sweet. And I see Barry Simon, a $20 super chat. Thank you, Barry. Thank you so much. Demonization prevention, it says, and a big smiling face. Thank you, Barry. Thank you. It's very generous, very nice of you. Thank you so much. And Francine, thank you too. And let me make sure, because I'm sitting here with 2 cell phones today. I know. That's what started all the trouble, didn't it? But let me take a minute. Let me get this unlocked here. Okay. Because I'm using my new phone. I got my new cell phone. Here it is. And I got the SIM card in, so I'm using this. But that doesn't mean that I can't still use. I don't have to use it. I have all my old cell phones, and this was the one I used to use. You recognize it, and I can use this in the studio here. Not that I can't use the other one, but I got it. Why not? And I shut off all the notification sounds, but my other phone is still ringing. But this is that thing, and I'll show it to you real quick. And it's a very expensive, newest thing from Samsung. It's called the Samsung Fold. So the reason I like it, and this is not a cell phone review, but the reason I like it is it's smaller. A little smaller. It's a little shorter and narrower. Let me show you. It's narrower. Narrower than my old phone. It's not as much of a handful. It weighs just a little less. Let me get that thing off the screen here. Hang on a second. It weighs a little bit less. But I sit on my cell phone for hours and hours and hours a day reading and answering comments, and typing on that tiny little keyboard, or the voice typing, which I have to go back and correct on this big slab phone, was very cumbersome for me and fatiguing. This is the Galaxy Fold. This phone here opens up into a tablet. See that? And when I sit with this thing in front of me, everything's bigger, and I got a much bigger screen. It's incredible. I mean, and it's very thin, incredibly thin, and this is in a case too. So when I fold it up and go back, I have the front screen, which I can use like a regular phone for most things. But when I'm going to be doing some work, and I want to sit outside, and I don't want to sit here at the computer all day, because I could, but it's cumbersome to have voice typing on my computer. This thing was the answer. And so far, it's worth it. It's working out great. I got 30 days. Got it from Amazon. I can send it back. I don't know if Amazon's still got the deal on it. I can throw a link on my I'll do that. I don't know how many of you want to buy a $1,700 cell phone, but it's a $2,000 cell phone they had to deal with. They gave you a $300 gift card. You bought the gift card, but the gift card is an Amazon credit, so it's basically a discount. And it was the cheapest way I could find to buy this without having to give up my old phone, which is worth a lot more than the trade-in value that they wanted to give you, because their trade-in value was only for credit. Most of it was only good for credits against very expensive Samsung products like watches and things. So I'll throw a link to that in the on my Amazon page of my website. And if you think you might want to buy that, use my link. I'd appreciate it. And I don't expect anybody to, because I have a very particular use case for this in my endeavors, and made a lot of sense. And I hadn't bought one yet. This is the 7th iteration of their fold phone. I haven't bought one yet because I haven't liked it. This is the first one that is so close to feeling like a regular cell phone when it's folded up and being smaller, which I appreciate, because all these phones just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and lighter too. It's actually lighter than the Samsung I was carrying. Incredible technology. Okay, where was I? Sorry about that. You know, that's a hobby of mine, and I love that stuff. I wouldn't trust a phone like that with hinges. It would get mucked up at work. Because like DS111, this is not the phone for somebody that's working like that. But for me, it's perfect. And believe it or not, it has an IP something rating. It's dust and water resistant. I've seen people try to destroy it. It's pretty solid. But no, I wouldn't. This is not for a construction site. You know, it's for a construction site? An old flip phone. One of the old ones. It's going to make my life a hell of a lot easier, though. Really will. And it's smaller. That's the amazing thing. It is smaller. It is smaller. Holy mackerel. We have somebody named Tanya Roko Chuakaya. Holy mackerel. What a name. Did I get that right? Did I get that right? She's laughing. Welcome to you. Welcome to you. We're still talking about butter. I am still now a half an hour behind. It is 9:30. We'll go a few more minutes here. Let me try to really quickly go through the chat and see if I missed a comment. We'll be back tomorrow if we missed anything today, guys. You can always come back tomorrow. I can't do it all every day in one day. But I do love you guys, and I wouldn't, no matter how much I think, oh, I would not give this up. It would take a hell of a reason for me to give this up. It's become one of my life's highlights. And watch the video I put out this afternoon. I'm telling you, you guys should get a real kick. Now, don't skip to the end, but you should get a real kick out of the ending. I exercised and flexed my cinematographer muscles in these two videos with the editing, the music, and all the stuff that I put in there, and tried to be a little clever and do make it more like a documentary than just a video. In the limited amount of time I have to do these things, because most of the time when you do fancy editing, it takes a lot of time. And I had a thought that the way I did this would be more like the way a filmmaker would do it than a YouTuber or a TikToker today, whose idea of editing is to having things flying around and flashing and letters changing colors as a person. That to me is nothing but distracting and annoying, and designed like subliminal things to cram the message into your head, bypassing your consciousness to feed you more and more information in less and less time. And that, my friends, is a very destructive thing for the human animal. We are suffering, all of us, from transaction overload. We're never meant to deal with this many things in this short a time. It's killing us. It's stressing us out. But we all do it, including me. Always something got to see. Another video. If I can't watch this video, I click on the next video. And these YouTube shorts are the worst. But everybody's got something they want you to know. And we're not designed for that. We were doing better in the old days, when we had 3 TV stations, 3 networks, and an answering machine, maybe. Maybe that's the reason we were so much healthier and mentally balanced than we are today. Because today, everybody is going nuts. You see it everywhere. There are some good questions here I can't get, that would require too much time. So I'm sorry if I missed your question. Aaron says, Mitch, do you think getting on the vibrating plate for an hour a day is too much? I'm not having any adverse effects. Well, if it feels good and you like it, do it. But that's a lot. That's a lot of vibrating. But you're young. You're young and strong. If I did that, I'd fall apart. I'd have to send a crew in here with a mop and a broom to sweep up the pieces. Yes, on 11, it has a sippy cup. All right, I'm just going to, everything you say now, my friend, is going to be, I'm going to take as a joke, because we're not going there again. Peter says, I've never heard of any YouTube influencer. Okay, yeah, that's probably true. Now, losing your monetization as a channel is not the same as having them deem a video not suitable. for advertisers. Entirely different standard. I'm sure their advertisers individually have given YouTube a tremendous amount of information about don't run my ads on any videos that contain blah, 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 blah. You know that. And YouTube's computers have to compare that to every video. And some videos basically can't find an advertiser that hasn't excluded it. You use a lot of obscenities in your video, they'll all get you. But this one is merely advertiser preferences. It has nothing to do with any community standards or what YouTube deems appropriate or not. It is what the advertisers themselves have instructed YouTube. Do not run my ads on any videos. And it's probably quite an extensive questionnaire in any genres, any categories, any age group, any demographics. YouTube's got all that information to match up against where the advertiser wants his ads to go. And sometimes, at the end of the day, there may not be an advertiser. There's always not somebody willing to buy what you're selling, I guess. Question from a proud American. When you eat everybody, you eat all the fat. I can't, just looking at blogs about. No, I tried what I generally used to trim most of it off, but I'm becoming more of a believer about the benefits of fat. I'm not going to just eat a big chunk of fat, no more than I can eat a stick of butter. But what I'm doing now is, especially on a ribeye, the fat, when you cook it right, the fat is not really hard and tough. It kind of renders in your mouth. So I try to eat a mix on one forkful of a certain amount of fat and a certain amount of meat. And I'm beginning to discover that if you do that, it makes it taste better. It's fabulous. But there still are some places where the fat is inedible as far as I'm concerned. And if I feel like it's too tough, I'm not going to sit there and chew it all day. I'll take it out. I'll take that piece out and put it on a plate. But I am eating more and more fat. That might account for why I'm feeling better. Who knows? That's a good. There's Barry Simon's super chat. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate that. Still talking about wild game. Ray McDermott's got. What do you think of fat fasting? Have you ever tried? No. I think that if you're eating anything, you're not fasting. I'm sorry. If you're eating sugar, you're not fasting. If you're eating eggs, you're not. It's not an egg fast, a sugar fast. I know they mean you don't eat anything, but no, I don't do that. I don't do that crap. I do not fall for all of these gimmicks. I don't enter challenges. Do this for 30 days and then make a big deal out of it. It's a reason for people to watch YouTube videos and participate in chats. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it simple. I'm not looking for the magic pill. I found the magic pill. The idea is to focus on it and try to do it right and ignore all this other noise, because it's a noise. Kiltz constantly gives an analogy to animals in the wild don't cook their food. Animals in the wild, well, yes, we are built to be animals in the wild, we humans. Up until very recently in history, we were animals in the wild. Not only were we hunting for food, but we were very cautious to not become food. We are food as well. That's the reality. So no, if anything, I want to make it simpler. I don't want to hang on to every fat. Eat fat as part of the meal. Eat 70% if you can of your calories from fat. Eat 70-30 ground beef. Try to find the best quality you can, but keep it simple. That's what I do for myself. You can do whatever you want. Eating fat won't hurt you, but a fat fast, There may be some benefit if you're trying to reverse some wild autoimmune condition or something, but just as a, or everybody wants to lose weight too fast, and most of the hacks out there are weight loss hacks, and I think it's no good to lose weight too fast. I think you have to nourish your body, eat until you're satisfied, and let your body find its own optimal levels and be happy with that. Because anytime you try to force the body with this hack, that hack, and the other hack out of its optimal levels that it's happy with, it's going to be bad for you. John says, why do they call it easy? I don't know. I don't have any rhyme or reason why Samsung names things the way they do. Doesn't make sense to me either. But right now, I think I'm not an Apple fan. I'm an Android guy, and I keep venturing out. OnePlus, I tried. LG, I've had all kinds of phones. And I keep coming back to Samsung. They got the best deal, best infrastructure. I got the watch. I got the earbuds. I bought the book and saw the movie, you know. Fell for the whole thing. But does really good. Now we're talking about phones. Oh, cool. Graceful Lily, and I'm overtime. Sorry I missed it. What kind of cell phone is that in Canada? It is a Galaxy. They call it the Z Fold 7, and it opens up into an 8-inch tablet. And there's so many things you can do with it. You can fold it in half and set it down on the. When you look at it, set it down. You can have the screen here and a little keyboard at the bottom. You can set it. It's so flexible. It's incredible. And it's been tested to, I think, 500,000 opens and closes with no damage. The engineering in these things is so incredible. So incredible. And I'm fascinated by that. All right, gotta go, guys. I'm trying to get through it. I'm almost there. I did. I got it. And it's more reach down at the bottom. And Carnivore Whistler said, Mitch, that phone's so cool. Mega size, old school flip. Yeah. Now they make a flip too. They make it's called the Z Flip. And it's the size of a small regular phone, but it folds in half and it becomes a little tiny thing. But the Z Fold, it's the screen real estate. And now they're coming out with one. Samsung should have it out by the end of the year, it looks like, that has 3 folds. It opens up into a big ass tablet. So that's the future, guys. That's the future. And they put the 200 megapixel camera from they upped the camera, they upped the game on everything on this thing. I'm fascinated. Now, the novelty will wear off in about a week, but it's going to be incredibly useful. But what the nice thing about when you buy from Samsung, they give you 14 days to send it back. You buy it from them on Amazon, they give you 30 days to send it back. No reason or questions asked, whereas Samsung is a little more difficult. I don't do the trade-in deals. I did last time when I got the S25 Ultra, but I could talk for days about cell phones. I was the guy way back 40, 50 years ago. Actually had a car phone. One of those big-ass boxes in the trunk with the antenna on the back, with the head up between the seats, and it had a looks brick-style phone handle and a rotary dial. And I was one of the few people that had one of them back then. So I started with cell phones from the first phone in the bag, through all the bricks, through the tiny little Motorola things, and I've had everything because I'm so fascinated by the technology. So it has a certain toy quality for me too. Listen, guys, I got through the chat. What are we talking about? Spanky's here. Grace Lou says, thank you, Mitch. I'm going to play a little happy music. And you can say goodbye to your friends in the chat. I'm really going to try. It's 9:45 already. Went 15 minutes ago. I'm really going to try to keep this from going too crazy. People start leaving anyway. Now I've said I'm going to do it. I have to do it. I don't know if the special's still there, but I will put a link. It'll be down with the cameras, okay? I have a section with the cameras I used, and this will be the phone I use. So I'll put a link in there. It'll take me about 10 minutes to do that, but it'll be there today. For those people in this country, if you like the deal, if you wanted one of those anyway, you're not going to get much. The pre-orders are over, and I don't know if Amazon's still doing it, but if not, it's going to be a $2,000 phone. You got to really have a use for it. Be crazy, like me, but they're selling the pants off of them. They are selling so many of these things, it's crazy. So we'll see. I've always been what they call an early adopter, if you know what that means. Any new technology comes out. I had the first CD player. Remember CDs? Remember CD players? Remember there was Philips and Sony, and that was it. And Philips came out with the first one. I bought the first one available and sold in the state of Florida. I was the first man in the state of Florida to own a CD player. There were no CDs. There was a bunch of Japanese classical music stuff. That was about it. I had to have one. I'm a stereo nut. I'm an audiophile. And I got it. I got the first one. Honest to God. And then when I bought one of them too. I had money back in those days, and I had a stereo system that would kill you. And this was new technology, and I've always been like that all my life, fascinated. So I'm the sucker that they aim their products for. I have no delusions about that. Listen, my friends, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everybody said goodbye. Hello to everybody I missed, and I'll be back here tomorrow. Watch out for that video this afternoon, if you would. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you so much for the wonderful, encouraging comments that all of you left on part one of that video. So, with that being said, I think we'll call this a day. Let's call it Monday. But you can take the rest of the day off. Wait for it. I need to, oh no, I can't leave. I can't leave until I clear the screen. There you go. Now, you can take the rest of the day off and eat meat.